Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and get these opening ceremonies started for the 2020 First Tech Challenge Idaho Championship. Thank you all for your patience while we work through a few technical issues with our new venue, but we're thrilled to have everybody here today. We have all the teams through inspection, so we're going to have an awesome afternoon of competition. Just to introduce myself, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Robin Baumgartner. I'm the First Tech Challenge affiliate partner for Idaho. Thrilled to welcome all of our teams from Idaho and our neighboring states of Nevada, Utah, and Montana here today. As many of you know, FIRST is a global robotics community, transforming lives and inspiring K-12 youth through 4 levels of robotics. First Tech Challenge started in 2005, and in the past 15 years, we've grown to over 6,000 teams in more than 25 countries. Everyone involved with this program has experienced its transformative effect, and if today is the first time you've joined us at an event, prepare to be inspired. Today's event actually started way back in September on kickoff day. Since then, the teams have been working hard to design and build their robots, as well as spread the spirit of FIRST to their communities, and I can't wait to see how everything comes together in this year's challenge, Skystone, presented by Qualcomm, I can say that. Before we get started today, couple housekeeping things. First off, just a gentle reminder about tournament etiquette, okay? We've got a lot of people here. Everybody wants to see the action. We're going to ask you, please don't stand in front of the fields. Don't stand in other people's way so that everybody can see the action. If you want to take photos and video, that's great, but just be mindful of the people standing around and behind you. Second, and this is super important, these robots run on a Wi-Fi system. Absolutely no Wi-Fi hotspots. 0. You run the risk of disqualifying a team or disabling their robot. So please make sure those are turned off. If you guys could just disconnect for an afternoon, put your phones on airplane mode. That'd be awesome. Be super cool. We just don't want anybody to be at a disadvantage. So if you could help us out with that, we are live streaming the event. If you feel like you really need to post a photo or a video, just step outside the gym to do it. That would be great. So, I want to take just a second to recognize and thank our sponsors today. First is my lovely employer, who I love dearly, University of Idaho Extension 4-H Youth Development. We also want to thank the Idaho STEM Action Center for their support. And finally, a big thanks to Northwest Nazarene University for hosting us and providing many of our volunteers today. And of course, the biggest thanks of all go to all of our coaches, mentors, parents, and volunteers. You guys are the heart of FIRST, and you really make this happen, so thank you. And so, finally, for those of you who may be, again, new to FIRST, I want to quickly mention a very important concept, and that is gracious professionalism. Gracious professionalism means that we strive to compete at our highest and best level, but at the same time, we respect and value our fellow team members, coaches, and volunteers. Today is a competition, but beyond that, it's a day when we recognize and celebrate all of the hard work that these teams have put in this season. I wish you all the best of luck, and may the force be with you. So now let's introduce our MC for the day, Hope Henry.
Good morning and welcome. We already heard you make some noise, and this is going to be a great day of competition. But before we get to the first match, we have a few distinguished guests from our sponsor organizations who would like to say a few words. Please give a warm First Tech Challenge welcome to Dr. Jamie Nixon, NNU's Dean of the College of Natural and Applied Sciences.
Thank you, Hope. Welcome to Northwest Nazarene University and to this First Tech Challenge. It is our honor to have you all here. This is fantastic. We have close to 200 high school students here competing, so congratulations for getting here. I tell my students to embrace your inner nerd, all right? For those of you who love science, who love technology, who love just what you do, because that's who you are. Embrace that. And the skills that you're doing today throughout this competition, some of you may be thinking about going into computer science, engineering, but for each person here, your path may be slightly different than your neighbor. And the skills and talents that you're portraying today, those are going to benefit you regardless of where you end up on your path. Parents, friends, coaches, thank you for investing in these students. These students are our next crop, our next wave of college students. The college students are the next wave of the workforce. And computer science engineering is a hot market today, and they're going to be valuable. You already are valuable. I want to encourage all of you to enjoy the day, enjoy our campus, take a walk around the campus, and just have fun. So thank you.
Next, it is my pleasure to point out to you Angela Hemingway, the Executive Director of the Idaho STEM Action Center. Right over there. Each year, First Tech Challenge creates new and exciting game for teams to learn and compete in. This year's season, First Rise is powered by Star Wars: Force for Change, and teams around the world are exploring what it means to imagine and build a city of the future. This year, teams are working with droid allies to reach up and into the sky in Skystone, presented by Qualcomm. Now, please watch this video to take a look at this year's challenge.
Hello, First Teams.
We're so excited that this year Disney and Lucasfilm have teamed with First as part of the Star Wars Force for Change philanthropic initiative.
Daisy, John, and I, yes, and BB-8 and Dio are happy to welcome you to today's event.
For the last 4 decades, Star Wars has inspired generations and audiences around the world to imagine the impossible and to find the hero within themselves.
As a robotics community, First has done the same for millions of students, creating a movement to prepare young people for the future. Here's a very good friend of ours to share more about this year's season and your program challenge.
BB-8, just wait 1 second and you'll find out who it is.
Hello, First Teams. I'm Mark Hamill, and welcome to the 2019-2020 season. Through this year's theme, First Rise, powered by Star Wars Force for Change, we're exploring what it takes to build a stronger, more sustainable future. And together, we will shape the first city to thrive today and stand the test of time. Today, you will explore the challenges First City faces as it begins to rise. Like the towering structures on the planet of Coruscant in Star Wars, First City is growing and must be resilient and strategic to sustain life and a rising population. In Skystone, your mission is to create a structure that pushes into the skies to represent your alliance. On your journey, you will work with droid allies to overcome obstacles that stand in your path to building a superstructure of the future and top it off with a crown of achievement, a final capstone to symbolize our reach into the sky and dreams of a hopeful future. Together, we rise.
Thanks, Mark.
We can't wait to see how you and your teams have learned to work together to tackle the challenges facing First City this season.
Good luck, and of course, may the Force be with you.
Welcome to the First Tech Challenge game for the 2019-2020 First Rise season, Skystone, presented by Qualcomm. A team consists of up to 2 driver operators, a coach, a human player, and a robot. The robot must be built from materials specified in the game manual and fit within an 18-inch sizing tool, but may expand after the match begins. Each match is played with 4 randomly selected teams, 2 per alliance. Each alliance is allowed only 1 human player. Your opponents for one match may be your partners for another. The game is played on a 12-foot square playing field with a foam tile floor and 1-foot-high walls.
8 unique navigation targets are mounted on the field walls.
Separating the landing zone from the building zone is the Sky Bridge, made up of 2 Alliance-specific bridges with 14 inches of clearance and a neutral bridge 20 inches high. Red and blue depots are taped off in the loading zone corners. Red and blue building sites are taped off in the building zone corners. Outside of the field walls are the Alliance stations and human player stations. The main game element is a stone, 4 by 8 and 5 inches tall. There are 56 stones in the game. In addition, there are 4 special Skystones, with a navigation target wrapped over one side. During gameplay, stones are assembled onto Alliance-specific foundations. These are placed in the center of the building zone, but can be moved by robots during gameplay. Each team can design and build a special capstone, which may be used to score additional points. Before each match, teams place their robots on the field, touching the wall closest to their Alliance station.
24 stones are stacked next to each human player station.
And 12 more stones are placed on the field, including 4 randomly located Skystones. Each team may preload 1 capstone onto their robot, or the human player may introduce it later in the game. Each match begins with a 30-second autonomous period. During this period, there are a number of ways for teams to score using only pre-programmed instructions and sensor inputs. Repositioning a foundation to the building site will earn 10 points for the Alliance. An Alliance earns 2 points for each stone delivered to the building zone. Both the robot and stone must be completely in the building zone. A Skystone moved into the building zone earns 10 points, only if it is the first or second Skystone delivered. After that, Skystones are worth only 2 points. If a robot can park over the midfield tape, it will earn 5 points. And finally, each stone placed in the foundation earns 2 points. Following the autonomous period is the 2-minute driver-controlled period. There are a number of ways to score points. Each stone delivered completely through an Alliance's bridge earns 1 point. However, a stone delivered through the neutral bridge does not earn any points.
Each stone placed on the foundation earns 1 point.
The last 30 seconds of the driver-controlled period is the end game. During this time, robots may continue scoring stones, but there are also ways to earn bonus points. Placing a capstone on a skyscraper will earn a 5-point bonus, plus 1 point for each level of stones. If a robot moves their foundation completely out of the building site, their Alliance earns 15 points. An Alliance will earn an additional 5 points for each robot parked in the building site. There are many ways to score in Skystone, but there are also rules that, if not followed, will award points to your opponents. For example, robots may not tip over an opponent's skyscraper. Robots cannot block access to their opponent's field elements. Robots are not allowed to reach outside of the playing field. Robots cannot launch game elements, nor are they allowed to deliberately detach parts.
This has been a brief summary of the Skystone game. For complete rules, scoring, and official field setup, please read the entire game manual and check the Q&A forum.
And always remember, the most important rule of the First Tech Challenge, gracious professionalism. Good luck, teams, and have a great season.
Now, I'd like to introduce you to some of our key volunteers for today's competition. First, I'd like to introduce you to our field technical advisors, Andrew Welk and Braylon Boner. Our field technical advisors know the ins and out of the robot control system we use to run this competition and keep the event moving smoothly. They ensure the robots are running properly and safely on the field. Thank you, FTAs. Next, I'd like to introduce our head referee, Jim Poston, and our referees and scorekeeping crew. Our refs and scorers have the difficult job of ensuring everyone is playing by the rules and keeping track of the points scored during the game. The head referee's rulings are final, and there will be no do-overs or video replays. Please keep the event running smoothly by respecting their authority and decisions. Thank you, referees. Last, but certainly not least, we'd like to thank our mentors and coaches who are critical to the team's learning experience success. On behalf of all First, a big thank you to all the mentors and coaches. You really are making a difference. A few minutes ago, Robin mentioned gracious professionalism. And who better to help further explain this core concept than the original gracious professional himself, First Distinguished Advisor, Dr. Woody Flowers.
Hi, I'm Woody Flowers, and I've been part of First for a long time. I really love how First helps us learn that working hard can be fun and profoundly satisfying. In First, we do our best work while helping others and treating folks with respect and kindness. This ethos is something I like to call gracious professionalism. As you go through this first season, please remember that it is extremely important. In fact, it's expected that you practice gracious professionalism. Everyone. First students, coaches, parents, volunteers too. It's not always easy, but it will make First a sweet experience, and it can have a big positive impact in all areas of your life. So go be kind and creative.
Woody, now here's how the rest of the day will go. In just a short few moments, we'll begin our qualification matches. Following the qualifications, we'll move on to alliance selection, where the top-ranked teams will choose their alliance partners for this afternoon's elimination matches. And finally, after an exciting round of playoffs on the robot field, we'll begin our awards ceremony to close out this exciting day. Before we begin match play, please rise for the playing of our national anthem. Teams, are you ready for Skystone?